My name is Brian, and I really would love to thank you so much for being part of this. And it is another sports show, and I am here to give you something to do with what is happening around East Africa. We all know that Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania are preparing for the African Cup of Nations at 2027. Of course, before we get there, we already have a tournament that is ongoing, the CHAN 2024. It's already on, and we are hosting it as a joint PAMOJA bid. And of course, we are looking better as nations. The three nations of East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, are really having great results on the pitch. And of course, we have a few challenges that I am here to really talk about. Uganda as a nation are constructing two new stadiums, which include the Hoima Stadium that is already underway. And of course, from the pictures and from the update videos that we are seeing, already 70% is done, and it's looking like it's going to be a game changer, especially in the facilities in Uganda, especially the sports infrastructures in there. We also have the Akii-Bua Stadium that is also looking better. For the Hoima Stadium, we already know that it's going to be a hybrid pitch in there. It's going to be a mixture of a carpet as well as natural grass. So they're at that level whereby now they are planting, and they already put the seeds and watering, and seeing that the pitch itself gets better. The outdoor arena that is also indoor arena that is outside the pitch is also being worked on. It looks like it's progressing very well. The swimming pool and all the other amenities around the stadium, it's already really looking very good. Akii-Bua Stadium, like I told you, 20%. I should say the earthworks are really done. The structure is really getting elevated, and there's not a lot to talk about, but we are seeing at least some progress. A lot of people were really bothered by the fact that we're not seeing anything above the ground. So it's already above the ground, and they're working on the first level, and things are looking exactly like we all expected in there. And of course, we should also credit the government for coming in and providing the necessary funds, as well as the other resources that are supposed to be, which is moral, and also effective in the professional support that really comes in from other departments from the government. On the other side, in Kenya, we saw at least the Kasarani Stadium being renovated, a complete overhaul of a lot of things that were happening there, including, of course, coming in and doing a lot of the roofing in there. There's also working on the VIP areas. There was working on the pitch itself, the playing surface. So it was also something to do with at least modernizing the stadium, covering the stands as well, really looking very good in there. There is also the Nyayo Stadium as well, one of the legendary stadiums around East Africa. It's known for a lot of things, and of course, for the political followers, they know it for hosting a lot of political rallies in there. But it is also looking better, and also we are going to be seeing a later stage whereby we shall be seeing a roofing over the stadium in Uganda as well. Before I go any further, Mandela National Stadium will also be roofed in there, because the Suma team that are working on the Hoima Stadium, after completion, they will be shifting to Kampala, where they will be constructing the Lugogo Arena, a basketball indoor arena that will cover over 15,000 people, will take over 15,000 people as the capacity. And of course, they will also be roofing the Mandela National Stadium. So works are still ongoing. So on the Nyayo side, it also looks better off, and we're also expecting the magnificent, the marvel of a stadium in the Talanta Sports City Stadium, one of a kind, 60,000 in capacity, strictly basketball and strictly rugby as well as football, no running tracks. It's going to be a marvel of a stadium. It's going to be looking good, and it's going to be one of a kind, and it will attract a lot of people really coming in as tourists, as a lot of international games will be hosted there. So Kenya looks like they didn't settle for this. On the side of Tanzania, they already have the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium. That was almost already, especially with the way things were happening, they were looking better. It had a few renovations, but it looks all set. We also have the Amam Stadium in Zanzibar. It's also another stadium that really looked better off. But they are also constructing another 30,000 capacity stadium. It's called the Samia Suluhu Stadium. It's also looking like it is really better off. The stadium is really it's going to be also another different style of what stadiums we've been seeing around the region, and it's at I think 40%, but it's really looking very well. The structure works are done. Even now it's something like 40 or 50% really done in there. And of course we all know that these are all in preparation to the in preparation for the African Cup of Nations 2027, but we already have a tournament that is on, that is being hosted by all the three nations as a test event to really see our preparedness for the African Cup of Nations. And it's going to be, of course, remembered for a lot of things. The CHAN 2024 really looking like one of the few tournaments that were extended and shifted because the three nations were not ready, especially Kenya in there. And of course the performances are really doing us very proud, seeing Kenya winning their games, seeing Tanzania winning their games, and Uganda also trying to see that it cops up with the other teams, of course winning their first game, that is last week. And of course fans have turned up, so you cannot say that the support is not there. The fans have turned up to the stadiums. The fans are looking very excited and looking like they are all involved into the game. And to me, that is the most positive of all things. You need to see fans coming to the stadium. For anyone really to come and invest in this game, they really need to see that there are people that are really going to be consuming this tournament. But of course, that does not go away with a lot of challenges, and Kenya starting to disappoint like we've seen them do on a number of occasions. I don't know why it's about Kenya, but we are seeing a lot of challenges coming in from their preparation, especially for this magnificent tournament. The CHAN 24 has brought a lot and exposed a lot of different challenges that the country faces, and in a few things that I've listed here that really have even led CAF to really react, including the first game that was between them and DR Congo, the opening match, as well as the game against Morocco. They've seen security breaches as well as violence at the pitches in there. Reports also suggest that fans forced themselves into the stadium at gate 11. That really was not really very good. Some of even the fans entering without having tickets in there. Fire was lit in the stands, which is not accepted by CAF. A motorcycle was seen moving through the crowds. There's also CAF officials being blocked from VIP areas. A private guard allegedly attacking CAF staff and members, and the sponsors in there. Unticketed fans storming the pitch and disrupting as well the TV broadcast and forcing security to use tear gas and to control the situation. Outside, we saw some youth coming out and chatting political slogans, which really also kind of like enhance the tensions around the stadium. And all this is something that is not accepted, is something that has always been told to them by CAF that it's not really acceptable. So in reaction to these scenarios that happen into the game, CAF has fined them $50,000 US. That is an equivalent to something to do with in Kenyan shillings, it's 6,461,000 small money in there. And then we also know in Ugandan shillings, it's 177 million Uganda shillings. So it is the fine that has been imposed onto them, and a further warning telling them that they need to control the situations, because if these things persist and if they keep on going on, then a ban might be immediate, and we might see these games being shifted, the semi-finals, quarterfinals, and the finals being shifted to other countries, including Uganda as well as Tanzania. That will really be a very bad picture. It will paint a bad picture to the Kenyan games, because we all know that it has been suffering under a lot of things, especially their history in the world of football and bans in there. In 2017, CAF banned them. It did ban them, but in 2017, CAF removed the hosting rights for the CHAN games because of incomplete stadiums. Then in 2022, we saw FIFA coming out and banning them for government interference in the game of football, which of course included a lot of things. Now we are seeing a lot of things, including tickets, forged tickets, including violence at the stadiums where these games are, which really does not really portray a good image, especially to the game of football. The bigger risk is that already Kenya have been fined 3 times, so it's going to be a ban if at all anything happens next. And of course, like I told you, there's also been talk of poor pitches, with pictures showing the grass as well as the soil from the pitches really getting off, especially when players are playing, which really might even cause harm to these players, and it might really lead to injuries. So it's also something that has been noted, and it's something that we are looking at. It's just, of course, 3 games for the national team, and we don't really expect a lot of disappointment, especially from the national team. But of course, we expect a lot of changes to really be made, because what is at stake is that if at all CAF goes in and imposes this ban on Kenya, that means there's going to be a challenge in the income flow of the nation, because you all know that these tournaments are really a precursor to things like development of tourism and of course all the other things in there. So if at all you see things happening in your nation like this, and you are a human being and you are a fan, you need to really respect the fact that your nation loses, especially from an action of a fan that is acted as a hooligan. Because now if at all Kenya's ban, tourism will not generate the money that it's supposed to be generating, the hotels will not get the money that it's supposed to be getting, of course the exposure will not be there, and a lot of things will come in there. So they are silly decisions that we make as fans, but they will affect the whole nations. And it's not only going to be Kenya that is going to be affected, but it is also Uganda, Tanzania are being affected. We are also a nation that is going to be having an election next year, but you've not seen political sentiments, as well as I think there was only one scenario whereby a fan went onto the pitch with a banner, and he was whisked away by the security team, and it is something that did not even take too much time. There's not been a lot of fans coming out. The only scenario where we saw fans coming out and chanting political songs, they were immediately silenced by fellow fans, because it was something that showed that we are here for the game. This is the only place that we get unified as Ugandans, despite our political differences. So it was something that really showed me that the Ugandans are a little bit more as a nation. There's a difference between the two nations, especially with the way the security issues are handled. Here in Uganda, it is not just police, it's more of the army and all the other stuff. So Ugandans are used to this environment whereby when a policeman says Sululu Moja, go away, or whatever they can say it in Swahili, then you have to go away, because the next thing they don't even worry about human rights. They do not worry about anything that comes after that. But of course, in countries like Kenya, we see there's a respect more of human rights. Of course, there have been challenges, and you cannot say 100% it's all good. But in our nation like Uganda, we are used to the fact that when there is a security clearance, something to be put right, you don't joke with the army people or the police. So that is the difference between the 3 nations. That is why you see here in Uganda, violence is easily curbed, especially in, you don't see a lot of riots around Kampala. You might even ask yourself, when was the last riot in Kampala? It might be years or months, over like 7 or 8 months back, and it has not even escalated to even go beyond the borders of exactly. They don't usually have violence going even beyond 100 or 200 meters of where it really started. So that is the nature of how things are dealt within Uganda. So that also creates a little bit of the difference of how things are done in the 2 countries, which I really think it is also a challenge in dealing with a lot of the issues. Yes, it might not be the right thing to do in Uganda here, but it has worked. It has proven that it is all doing very well. So that is where the 2 nations differ, and it really would help us if at all we have an organized way of dealing with such issues. It is also supposed to be worked on by the individuals, people out there. You need to be a little bit understanding of what really happens if things go wrong. The funds out there need to be eradicated of what really is supposed to be done, because yes, we have feelings, yes, we have political statements, yes, we have things that have not gone right, but those are not the right platforms to express yourself, because at the end of the day, it's not the country that loses, it's the football that loses, and we fans of football really love it and want to see it get to the next level. We're expecting something better. We're expecting to see changes. We're expecting to really see a progressive tournament that will come in the next coming month, especially the African Cup of Nations 2027. But the people that are concerned, the organizing committee, the local organizing committee in Kenya, and in Uganda as well, because we are not also immune to all those challenges. Maybe we had a first 3 games that were operated very well. We might have one game that might spoil everything. So they should be very careful and they should be very concerned with how to deal with these issues. But all in all, I should credit all the 3 nations, the governments of the 3 nations, for exactly doing what they're supposed to be doing. They've really put these games to the next level. They've done the best they could do, especially in preparations. They've involved everyone. It is all inclusive. You've not had a lot of challenges from especially the people like the media, the sponsors as well, and all the other people that are supposed to be involved being left out. It has been an all-inclusive approach, and it will draw a lot of experience, especially as we prepare for bigger tournaments like the African Cup of Nations 2027. So kudos to all the 3 governments, kudos to the players on the pitch for showing what they can do, and kudos, of course, for all the people that have been supportive, especially in build up to these games. My name is Brian. Enjoy your day.